Welcome back to the AT. My name's Nichols, 2024 thru hiker and certified hiker trash. This year, I'm hiking from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. These next 46 days will be filled with sunshine and storms, vistas and wildlife, and endless memories. With big miles and solo solitude ahead, join me on the trail with a capital T. This sun feels so nice because it's so cold this morning. It's like, warm me up, sun. Shelter Spur, back on the AT. There's this massive rock here. It's like, I can't even touch the top of it. I'm hurting my neck looking up at that. And look at that view. Good morning, Appalachian Trail. It is Nichols here, and we are heading north on an AT journey from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Yesterday when I got to the shelter, there's probably 8 or 10 people already there, and the majority of them were tenting. So my options of where I could put my tent were pretty limited, and I didn't have that great of a spot. It was kind of on a lot of acorn shells and straddling a root, and it was sloped and my head was on the wrong end. It was downhill, so my pad kept sliding downhill, and I kept shifting back so my head wasn't touching the tent wall, and my feet weren't on the pad and they got cold. And it got pretty cold last night. The winds really started gusting maybe 2:30 in the morning. I think is when I woke up and really heard them. And they're still gusting pretty good, not as much as overnight. I think today during the day it's not supposed to be as windy, but overnight it might be gusty again. I'm gonna check the forecast and see, because I know it's supposed to be clear tonight. If it is, I would love to cowboy camp at this one spot that I know of. A little bit past my checkpoint shelter, Carter Gap. Depending on how I feel when I get there, I'll determine if I'll push on to that cowboy camp spot. It's like 2 miles after, I think. Yeah, it's so cold. I am rocking the shorts. I'm a shorts guy. I always wear shorts. Unless it's like super windy or rainy. But I also don't need gloves right now. My hands are warm enough. I've been on the west side of a mountain though for quite a little bit. So ready to hop back over and get into some sunshine. White Blaze. So for those that don't know, the intro this morning is a parody of my favorite celebrity YouTuber, Stick the Eagle. Good friend Stick. We hiked a lot of the AT together last year. Done day hikes in Pennsylvania, the Foothills Trail together. So today's intro is a parody of his intro. All in good fun. I love you, Stick. There's a little dusting of snow here. Heading on up this climb. I just bumped into Lazy Boy and Simon coming up this little climb. I met them yesterday, the day before, I guess, in Hiawassee. They both stayed at the Green Dragon as well, so awesome running into them again. They had started at Blue Ridge Gap yesterday, and I started at Unicoi, so I caught up to them. They were both at Muskrat Creek Shelter last night. They got in there early, and they said it was slammed. 30, possibly 40 hikers at that shelter. They said they just kept rolling in. 9, 10, 11 o'clock. People were still rolling in. So, kind of have to adjust my plans and hiking method accordingly, because I'm someone that hikes until 7:30, 7:45 even, like right up until when it gets dark. And I start hiking early, ideally before sunrise. And if these shelters are crowded, I can't stay there. There's not going to be any tent room. And I did anticipate this with the style in which I'm hiking. I knew that was going to be the case, but 40 hikers at a shelter, my gosh, I don't understand how that's even enjoyable. Like 10 hikers at a shelter is a lot. So we'll see how far I make it today. Lazy Boy also said there's supposed to be gusts up into the 40s and lows in like the 20s. So that is also a factor where I stay tonight. Seems like cowboy camping is a no-go. I'm not going to do it in winds like that. But I'm just going to keep hiking until 7:30, 7:45. And then camp there. And here's a nice view of Standing Indian through the trees on the left-hand side of your screen. All the way up there. From what I remember, that's a really enjoyable climb. Nice and gradual on the way up. There's switchbacks. And actually, there's going to be some snow up there. It never comes out right on the phone, but I do see a little bit of frost-swept trees at the summit there. So probably going to be a touch and go at the summit. All right, this is a spur trail up to Standing Indian. Super easy climb coming up here. The grade is very mild. Ton of switchbacks. Yeah, let's see who's at the top and what sort of view there is. Well, I'm on Standing Indian, but nobody else is up here. I'm not sure where these 40 people are. I've passed maybe 7 so far. But nice view here at Standing Indian. I'm gonna switch over to Peak Finder. So let me see if I can get this lined up. I guess it's that. There we go. So way out in the distance. I see Blood Mountain. Cow Rock. Blue Mountain. Tray Mountain. One of those is Tray. There we go. Peak Finder isn't always perfect here. Leveland. I'm not sure if you can see Springer from here. Now Peak Finder's gonna get all messed up because I'm moving it so much. There's some of the Smokies. Rocky Top, I think. Powell, Chaoa Bald, Siler Bald. Those are coming up in a couple days. Wyabald, and now trees. Yeah, so that's Standing Indian. One of my favorite climbs so far. Actually, probably my favorite climb so far. Definitely one of the best views so far. But onward we must go. It's a nice 5-mile descent. Really nice viewpoint here. A little bit before Betty Creek campsite. The trail will go down over there. Follow this ridge. There's some great views from there. And then way out in the distance, that's Albert Mountain with the fire tower on top. I think with a little montage, "100 miles. Here's the view from the Albert Mountain Fire Tower. There's Standing Indian over there. Oh wait, no, maybe it's that one. Somewhere you just saw Standing Indian. And then actually right through the stairs there, that is Clingman's Dome. And the rest of the Wyabald is probably over there. And the northern end of the Smokies is over there. I'm not going to get out Peak Finder right now because it's very windy and I don't want to drop my phone. But this is the Albert Mountain Fire Tower, 100-mile mark. Alright, just leaving the fire tower now. It's been about 20 minutes there. On the phone with my dad, just catching up. Probably not going to do any other video. I have about 2 miles to the shelter today. Maybe just a brief look-see at where I'm set up there. 2 miles to the shelter. I'm thinking I'm going to stay inside, which is like way off base from what Nichols always does. I'm very anti-shelter, but I think the tent pads are a little wonky. And from talking with a bunch of people that I passed today, I think there's a lot of tenters that are going to be at this shelter. And the upper is enclosed, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not too thrilled about staying in the shelter, but that might be what I have to do tonight. So that'll be all for today. Remember to embrace the journey and happy trails.